This is definitely one of the coolest forts or castles I've ever been to in my life.
We are in Jodhpur, India.
Jodhpur was our first stop in the Indian state of Rajasthan.
It's famous for its beautiful architecture and the desert scenery.
Jodhpur itself is the second biggest city in this state, with a population of nearly 2 million. And it's often known as the Blue City of India.
So we're excited to explore this beautiful place.
Behind me here is basically the symbol of Jodhpur. This is Mangar Fort, and it rises above the city about 1,000 meters and covers almost 1,000 acres if you include all of the outer walls. It's easily one of the more impressive forts that I've ever seen in my life, and I'm really excited to take a closer look. So let's go inside.
Blue city. It's very blue over there.
Let's go. It's inside the walls. What do you think?
It's big. It's beautiful. That's tired.
Long walk?
Long walk.
Well, we just finished walking up here to the fort. I think we just arrived at the main fort area, and it's quite an uphill walk, but not all that long in reality. A couple things though, they did charge 600 rupees per person, at least for foreigners, and they took away my stick for my GoPro, which makes me a little annoyed, but it's a rule here in India that I've seen before, so I'm not that surprised by it. But yeah, just a little strange. Other than that, we could pay by card, which was really great. And so far, this fort itself is absolutely spectacular. The decoration and the woodwork and lattice work on the tops of these buildings is really, really impressive. Hopefully I can get a close-up shot of it and show you the details, but just even from down here, it's like nothing I've seen before. The fort here was originally built in 1459 by a Rajput prince. But most of the final construction here is actually more from the 17th century. The upper area of the hill, the top of the fort, is covered in this pretty lovely little garden, as well as a large palace complex. The palace has since been renovated and turned into a museum, which was really cool to check out. Some of the cooler things in the palace involved the paintings, a special style from this region known as miniature painting, meaning instead of painting miniatures, the paintings are miniature, which was really cool to see. A lot of little details and really interesting scenes in those pictures. Also, every once in a while walking through the museum, there were some special rooms, palace rooms set up, which were decorated as they would have been back in the day. And some of these were really cool to see. Lots of mirrors and decoration, lots of gold leaf or silver work on all the walls. It was really fun to just kind of immerse yourself in that style. And of course, one of my favorites was the armory, which had a huge collection of different weapons from different eras. And one thing that I was really surprised by was how many gun blades they had here, which I don't think I've ever really seen one in real life. Maybe once in Japan, but they had 5 or 6, which was really cool to see. And another gun sword! What? It's like the 4th gun blade I've seen in here.
And finally, we could buy a postcard here. So if you didn't check yet our Patreon, please check the link below. And for the highest tier, we will be sending the postcards.
Check it out. Overall, although it's a little bit rainy today and it wasn't the best day to come here, I'm really glad that we made the trek up the hill to check out the fort. This is definitely one of the coolest forts that I've seen in my life, and yeah, just really impressive overall. So I highly recommend stopping here in Jodhpur if you're going through Rajasthan. It's definitely worth it. But for us, we're gonna be off to explore some other parts of the city. So there are a few different little sites that we wanna check out, and we've only got one more day, so let's see what we can find. Our next stop here is another landmark of the city. This is the clock tower, and it's located right here in the central market. Now, besides the large fort, Jodhpur is also pretty well known for its spices and textiles. And we're gonna go try and find a shop or two and check out what they have here. But first, we're gonna get a closer look at what this is all about. It suddenly just started pouring rain. So fortunately, we were able to walk under the roof, but check this out. This was completely dry like a minute ago. That's wild. Jodhpur is also famous as the Blue City of India, and today we're gonna look for kind of where that is. You can see when you look out on the city, especially from the fort where you get an incredible view, but you can see a little bit of blue here and there, kind of all over. But there's supposed to be one little area district that is really like every house is painted blue.
We hope so.
Yeah, we've been looking for it for past half hour or so, and there's a lot of blue up and down the roads here, but we haven't quite found that one spot yet.
Yeah, that one who's like all the houses blue. I think these days some houses not painting anymore, maybe? I don't know.
So we're gonna keep looking a little bit and hopefully get a view from this area, maybe from a rooftop cafe or something like that. We did, however, find this nice little lake reservoir with a good view of the castle ruins from this side. One of the castle walls, not the main fort area, but one of the outer walls. It's pretty nice and relaxing.
Yes.
Well, we found a little area here that is pretty blue. It's not like every building, but as you can see behind us, a lot of these houses are painted with this nice light blue color, which is really appealing and quite pretty. Now, as to why the city is known as the Blue City, it's not really clear. There are a few different reasons that people have suggested, and they're pretty different, and some of them are more believable than others. One reason is that possibly the higher caste, the Brahmins, wanted to paint their houses blue for either religious reasons or kind of to show off some of their wealth. Blue being a pretty difficult paint color, a pretty expensive color to make and use.
Another reason is for the temperature. They believe if you paint the house blue, it get more cooler, and here we are in the desert and in the summer can be really hot.
Sometimes up to 40 or even 50 degrees Celsius, which is kind of insane. Finally, the last reason I heard, I don't really believe, but possibly it's true, which is that they believe that the blue helps keep mosquitoes away from the house. Now, in our hostel, we have a large number of mosquitoes in our hostel, so I don't think that it works, but whether or not that's why, who knows? Maybe it's one of the reasons. In any case, a lot of these houses are really pretty to look at, and it's nice to wander around the streets. But one thing to note is that there isn't really a blue part of the city, even if some people might make you think that. In total, the city is probably about 60–70% blue.
Yes.
And that's really clear if you look from up above in the fort and look down. It makes it into a nice little blue city. But when you're actually on the street, it's pretty easy to notice that it's not all blue.
Yeah. I feel like they put blue on the roof So from the fort, you have a view of the blue city. But if you're walking, not all the building is painted blue.
Jodhpur has been one of our favorite stops in India so far, and it's been wonderful to experience more of the rich history of this area.
And we are excited to explore more as we head deeper into the Thar Desert.
But we'll save that for next time. In the meantime, thank you very much for watching, and
See you at our next destination.
ciao!
Ciao!